Hey guys, so today I want to go over two trades that I did today on AMRH and CODX. If you guys played the market today, you knew these two stocks were pretty hot pre-market and shortly after the market opened. So I was looking at these stocks right before the bell opened, right here. So let's start with AMRH. So at 9:14, I'm in California, so Pacific time, 6:14. It's 9:14. I wrote AMRH moving nicely at this rate. It's destined for a big pullback / washout. I'll wait for then to go long. So this is pre-market today. You could see ever since pre-market opened, pretty much no volume, and then it started consolidating right here. And then right at 9, which is usually when a few stocks start to go, usually, I blame Robinhood. I don't really blame them, but you can start trading on Robinhood at 9 a.m. So that's usually when a lot of stocks get more volume. You can see here, you can see the volume difference. There's barely any right here, and then after 9, it just gets a little bit of volume. So that got my attention. So as you can see, when it broke out from this, I always mark a resistance and support line. So right here, this line is for the pre-market high when it was over here, and then after 9 it broke that, right? So these are other resistance line from past chart. And so it just broke those. It was kind of grinding up. It wasn't a huge up or down move that I didn't want to see it at the time. I didn't want to go right there, because then if it just goes straight up and just destined to crash right at the bell or anything. So it went from about like 165 all the way up to $2, which is it's a nice move if you're just sitting on it, but that's not really how I like to trade most of the time. So around 6:14 right here, when it's okay 190-ish area, I'm like, this is destined for a big pullback. I was hoping at 2 right here it would pull back hard, but it didn't really pull back. We just had these little red candles. So when I want a really big pullback like this is when I want to go long, when I see one of these big red candles. But we didn't. So it just tapped 210 and then started crumbling back down, went down to 190. So what I wanted to see at the bell is I wanted for it to dump, preferably to 175. That's where I had this support line, but it didn't get there. But it did dump like I wanted to. So when I saw it go down, it touched like 181 or something, I believe, and then it came right back up to 190. So that's when I went long. I got filled to 195, and then it just moved up. And so right here is when we had like our first little pullback. Like here's where the first green candle stopped going up, 217. But you see, it was above the high of the day so far, right? This was the high of the day then, 210. So it moved past that in like 5 seconds. It went from like 190 all the way to like 215. So I knew a lot of people were gotten a FOMO. Shorts were like, what the hell just happened? If they shorted right here, shorts were pretty much screwed, right? Thinking this would just go right back down. So I didn't sell here yet. I waited for this candle to push back up. I sold some at 225, and then the rest right before 250 at 245, because I knew 250 was going to be some resistance. And in this big move we had from basically 180, right? Because that's when it touched a low here, 180 all the way to 250. That's quite a move. That's a 70-cent move on a $2 stock at the time. So I knew it was destined for like a big pullback, and that's why I sold out. And we did get that nice pullback. So there were other entries you could get if you missed that move. Back from 250, you could buy in that first pullback, the first big pullback from right here, 250 all the way down to 225. You can see 225 is going to be holding as resistance right here. So the first time I pulled back to 25, went back up to 250, and then this one right here, 225, it came back right back down and moved on up a little bit. And so this is one of my favorite plays, the long washout. Wait for it to wash out at the open to tap resistance, and then just really bounce off it and go back up. mostly when I look for these plays is I want it to go down, tap resistance, and then really rapidly move back up. So I guess an analogy would be like a rubber band would be like right here, and then it stretches all the way to resistance, right? And then you let it go and it bounces back up. That move means, wow, it doesn't want to die, right? Shoulders are like, what is going on? There's a lot of buying pressure there. That's why it just bounces right back up. So that's why I started to go long on that one. Like I said, I wanted to go to 175 because I knew that was clear resistance. If it went down to 175, I usually don't buy right at the bottom. So if I see it go to 175, I probably put a order at 180. If I see the level 2 start to stop. So it's really hard to show you guys without it being live. But at the bell, all these would be red, right? You see a whole bunch of red prints going because it's going down, right? And then suddenly it will stop. It will stop going red, and then all you see is green, 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 green. That moment is when you know it's gonna like reverse, right? So that was a pretty good trade there. Like I said, wait for the big pullback / washout to go long. And that was also my watch list. Top two, AMRH, and CODX. And secondly, I was watching CODX as well. At 9:18, I said CODX is heavily shorted. If we can break up past $5.85 and $6, some of the shorts will panic and we'll move back up. So we go back to the chart on CODX. This morning, it was getting a decent volume on a gap up right here. And then 9:18 right here is when I decided, around here is when I decided if we break past this 585-ish mark, we can move back up. The reason I came up with this area, it wasn't really 585. It was not like an exact line, right? So this first line right here is this first resistance we hit as soon as the pre-market was able to be traded. That's where that line went. And then the second line is where we had some resistance right here. Right here. And then it bounced right here. And when it tried to bounce from here, we got hit here, right? So this has been resistance, support, and now resistance again. So I'm like, we need to break this line as well. If we go back a few days, where it spiked up right here, the high was around 595, right? So we needed that line to break, and I think if we go to like the 60-minute chart right here, you can see these long upper shadows right here. So that was also some resistance, right? It falls in between these two candles, or these two horizontal lines that I made. So that's what I was looking for. Obviously, I played AMRH right at the bell, right? So I was busy focusing on that. Luckily, excuse me, when this did break up above those levels that I was talking about, it was pre-market. I didn't want to see that move pre-market. I would have rather kept consolidating in these levels, right? And then maybe even drop a little further back down to here 569 or 550, and then get that move back up. So, but it moved like prematurely, I would say. So I didn't start liking it at this point. I was like, I'm gonna see how it does at 6, right? Because if it broke past 6, then I would see how it reacts there. Obviously, a lot more eyes were on AMRH at that point, so that's why this kind of fell, right? So then when I got out of my position, AMRH, I turned back on here, where my play was basically still standing because a lot of people shorted towards this level. They were like, oh, if it goes past 6 or kind of 6 or, 590s on a short, just ride it on down. And so it did. It did go down around to here 550, right? And so when I look back on it, I was also just looking at the tape, the level 2s, and then I was looking at these mark again, right? But not only that, but also looking at 6. So then when it broke past this, right here, you can see it went to 6, and then had a pullback, right? And so this pullback was going to show me where the stock really wanted to go, right? Now you can see here, it stopped right at my line, 585. So that was like, okay, if this can hold, I'm gonna go long for the break of $6. And so I started moving back up. I bought for here $6, and then it started moving back up. I wasn't gonna sell till we got to this line, 630, because I was like, all these shorts right here are screwed at this point, right up above $6. So we moved back up in a nice move, and I sold before like 640, 645 is when I started getting out, because that was also a really big move, like I was talking about. I don't like just holding and sitting for these big moves, because as you can see, a few minutes later, it just dumped, ridiculous dump. This could have been a bull flag, but no. So yeah. So those were some of my trades today. Like I said, I alerted them pre-market. They were on my watch list. These were also other stocks I had on my watch list, but not every stock that you have on your watch list is obviously going to do what you want. It's not always going to be, the money maker of the market today. So I also try to keep it updated on Twitter and StockTwit, so be sure to follow me if you haven't. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, maybe even learn something, and I'll see you guys on the next one.